You're so I woke up with absolutely no energy. And for most people, as soon as you wake up, you have two choices. You either go for an extra nap or you wake up and absolutely drained. Here's the facts. 1 in 3 people lack good sleep. And the number one reason for that is because of their diet. Sugar is the number one energy drainer in your system. That's right. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 substitutes for sugar and why it's addicting your brain and making you crash all the time. For that and more, let's actually get into it. Welcome back, Think Smart Nation. This is Sulai.Medcom from Think Smart, and today we're going to be talking about sugar and how it's dragging your energy. Here's the facts. Sugar can be 10 times as addicting as cocaine if you binge it. And the thing is, most people consume sugar not just on a daily basis, but sometimes on an hourly basis. For most people, a common breakfast includes eating donuts with coffee that's just straight full of sugar, thinking that that's gonna spike their energy, but it's actually not gonna do that. It's quite the opposite. It's gonna cause them to crash and actually crave for more sugar, and it becomes this toxic cycle. So if you're one of those that is trying to gain more energy throughout your day, the first thing that we need to do is actually substitute the type of sugar that we use. For most people, when you tell them to decrease their sugar intake, the first thing that they think about is actually just reducing the amount of sugar, when there's actually better substitutes of sugar. So the first type of sugar that you really want to go for is pure raw honey. And here's the trick, it has to be pure and raw honey. This is because pure honey has a lot of energy in terms of not just sugar, but a lot of antimicrobials and antioxidants that will help your immune system to actually spike. Honey is not just considered as a sugar substitute, but it's actually a source of food. It has been used for more than 8,000 years by a lot of the Greek and the Egyptian civilization, and it's used till our day for a lot of remedies. So honey is made of sucrose, which is fructose and glucose. What's so interesting about honey in comparison to the normal white sugar that we add to our tea or coffee is that it actually contains the enzymes in the honey itself that helps break it down much easier in our system. So unlike sugar, which actually takes more time to be digested in our system, honey has the enzymes already in it, and so it's much easier to get to the bloodstream. Not only that, but it does not cause this huge increase in the blood sugar that sugar causes, and so you would not feel this crash. Not only that, but actually honey is a much better substitute for people with diabetes, high cholesterol, coronary heart disease. There was one study that introduced honey to 2 different populations with diabetes, and they found out that over 2 weeks the amount of fasting blood glucose and cholesterol level in their blood significantly decreased, and the amount of C-peptide protein also significantly increased, which is actually allows more insulin to be produced and allows a better management of glucose. If you'd like to know how honey is used as a herbal remedy and how it's used for cough and different allergies and even skin blisters, please comment below and I would be more than happy to give you that content. And by the way, I will put a link in the description to give you some recipes to use honey. And just like anything else, you don't want to use honey too much. I think 3 to 5 tablespoons per day is a very good consumption in terms of honey. So again, you don't want to use it often, but it's a much better substitute than sugar. Alright, so the second sugar substitute that you can easily use in your tea, coffee, or even if you're baking is Stevia. Stevia is a green leaf plant, and what's so interesting about it is that it has absolutely no sugar or calories. And so this is actually a great substitute for people who are trying to lose weight or even just have a sweet tooth and like sweets just like myself. And so Stevia is a much better substitute than sugar. And again, just like anything, you don't want to use it too much. Alright, so the third sugar substitute, and that is actually my absolute favorite, is dates. Not only they have a great amount of sugar content, but they are full of fiber and potassium. You see, for people who have problems with constipation, date is a huge source of fibers and will help you have a better bowel movement. In one study, 21 patients were put on a 7-date regimen for 2 weeks, and they were reported to have a better glycemic index, which means a lower blood sugar overall, as well as a better bowel movements. So again, dates is a great source for energy, and the trick with dates is that you want to use it in odd numbers, because eating dates in odds, so 1, 3, 5, 7, is consumed in the body as energy, but eating it in even numbers becomes consumed as fat. So make sure whatever number of dates you eat, they have to be in odd numbers. And what's also interesting about dates is that it is a neuroprotective agent. There's multiple studies that have shown that eating dates lowers the amount of inflammatory markers in the brain. In other words, eating dates help protect your brain from neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. And so this is again a great source. So the goal here is actually not to just look for better substitutes, but to shift your diet lifestyle so that you do not crash. So just like we discussed, eating honey, using Stevia and dates, other great options is actually fruits. And there's nothing better than fruits. Using a lot of bananas, oranges, apples, figs, and grapes as an alternative to cupcakes and chocolates is gonna boost your energy drastically. So here's one way that you can actually do this. Look through your day and see your normal consumption of sugar and other junk desserts such as chocolates and cupcakes and whatnot, and shakes. Log those down on a notebook and see the quantity that you actually eat per day. And make it a goal to not only decrease the amount of intake, but to also substitute some of it. So for instance, if I know that I eat 4 cupcakes per day, then I would make it a goal of mine to reduce that down to 2 and introduce apples, bananas, or oranges into my diet. There's also a fasting that you can do is by using your Siri or Alexa, where you can just remind your Siri or Alexa to eat bananas or fruits every 4 to 5 hours. And that's what I honestly do, so I keep my conscious mind alert to these lifestyle changes. So the sole reason that we're talking about using other substitutes to sugar is because of the sheer fact that sugar itself can be an addicting substance. In many studies, it has been shown that binge eating with sugar can be as addicting as cocaine or heroin. Hear me out. Consuming too much sugar activates an area in the brain known as the nucleus accumbens, which is mainly involved in reward and addictive behaviors. So the more sugar you eat, the amount of dopamine that's in your brain or the nucleus accumbens significantly increases, and the amount of acetylcholine also decreases significantly, which is a ratio to measure addiction. So anytime someone is addicted, they have their dopamine goes up and their acetylcholine goes down. And then if you stop eating sugar for a day or two, you start having these craving, which is actually a withdrawal symptom and an indication that you're becoming more and more addicted to sugar. So the moral of this video is to be in control of yourself and be in control of your sugar consumptions and using better sugar substitutes to have a much more lasting energy throughout your day. I hope you like this video, and let me know in the comments below which one of these 3 substitutes you will be adding to your lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with a new video. Salam.